Hale Irwin shot 7 over in the 1974 U.S. Open and won the tournament. That must have been wild. Let's take a look and see what old Hale did to pull it off.
Irwin, and this is my U.S.
Hale!
Out on the grounds at Wingfoot. And
Wingfoot.
after the first practice round, players saw what was ahead of them, and boy, many of them just sunk. The doom and gloom in the locker room was palpable. It was unbelievable.
Monster for Open. That's what they say every year. This was a monster.
Johnny Miller had won with the final round.
How many times are they going to say monster about Oakmont this week, 2025?
I don't think the USJ wanted to see scoring like that again.
He doesn't have a single 5 on his scorecard. He missed only one fairway, hit every green, and made 9 birdies.
Oh my God!
Lowest round in Open history.
And that pissed him off.
Tatum always had the best interests of golf and USJ. I don't think he ever pushed something that he didn't feel in his.
I feel like every organization needs an old dude with a pipe and a bucket hat on to run it. Sandy Kaufman.
We aren't trying to humiliate the best players in the world. We're simply trying to identify who they are.
That's right, Sandy.
The mantra of the USJ through all these years is to identify the best players.
Let them cry for 1 week. Let them cry for 1 week.
Right on down to the short game. And I don't disagree with that one bit. I can remember saying to myself, if you just make a bunch of pars, those are going to be like
what a
birdies.
Stud.
Everyone's going to make bogeys. There's no doubt. Everyone's going to make bogeys. So if you can just control yourself, all you have to do is beat 30% of the field because the other 70% have checked out already.
They've already beaten themselves, Hale.
The course is causing
Johnny
of anguish early.
Oh. Jackie. Jack can't make a putt.
The greens are slick and the ball keeps rolling.
I tell you what, back in the day, they used to get over the ball putting. I mean, look at this dude. He wasn't far from where he started.
I was very, very happy after round 2.
Look at him. He's over the ball.
18 for 70.
Good 70.
You
Golf
have a
clap.
scoreboard like that with Ray Floyd and Gary
Raymond.
and Arnold Palmer. I'm
my
trying
God.
to tell myself, will they know who Hale Irwin is?
That's a pretty good score.
Probably not.
Board.
Going into the third round, I just felt like, okay, I'm in this just as much as anybody else.
I think I'm going to get me some pants like that.
While it doesn't fit any of our games,
That would look
it
good.
might fit mine a bit more. All I have to do is control myself and not worry about anybody else. Just control my game and make sure that you just.
That's what it's all about, baby.
When you're
Just
playing
don't make
in
doubles.
tournaments, the one thing you can't do is have those double bogeys because you'll never
Yeah.
make up for a double bogey with enough.
He
birdies
knows.
on a course like Wingfoot.
Irwin hits to the green of 16.
A moment.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good point he just made. Let's go back.
When you're playing in these big tournaments.
That was a pretty good point he made. You know, making as long as you don't make a double, you're going to have a good score. I mean, simply put, especially at Medina.
One thing you can't do is have those double bogeys because you'll never make up for a double bogey with enough birdies on a course like Wingfoot.
Irwin hits to the green of 16.
A moment or two in time on Saturday, which I think was very important, was I had such a good finish that really turned my outlook around a lot. And birdieing 16.
The pants. It's because he wore the pants. Look at them pants.
17 and making a good pitch and putt.
I mean, he looks like a damn golfer.
A good chip shot gives him a chance for a par.
That's what a golfer should look like right there.
With 1 round to go, Tom Watson leads. Irwin is just 1 shot behind, and Arnold Palmer trails by 3.
I finished on
Arnie
a very
P.
high note versus, let's say,
T3.
the same score, but went bogey. You're going to feel a lot different than if you go birdie. So finishing the way I did really gave me a big push going
So
into
true, Hale.
Really gave me a big push going into the Sunday round.
What the hell? What the hell?
We all know the last round of any U.S. Open tends to be the hardest.
Tends to be, unless you're Tiger.
But I'm thinking to
Woods.
myself, can
Gotta
it get
know.
any harder than it's already been? Only if I let it. You have to look at it from the standpoint of this is something that I've been
That's a
looking forward
golfer.
to for a lot of years. I'm in the mix. I've got an opportunity to go out and perform and perhaps win my major championship, and one that I've held in great esteem, the U.S. Open Championship.
At the fourth, the jitters start catching the leaders.
The jitters. Settle.
Both Tom
Get in
and I
there now.
three-putted the
Don't need a
first.
three-putt.
And why you don't ever want to do that? I just told
That's
myself
just
that
tough.
this is not the last time this is going to happen. You're building a sandcastle. A wave comes in, knocks it down. Well, okay, you go back, you build another one. Here comes another wave. Well, that's the way it was. It was back and forth, back and forth. I just didn't let myself
Good
get
metaphor.
upset with making some mistakes early because we were all making them.
Apparently.
You know, it's funny. Sometimes you look at putts like that and you see a line. You see it. Now, why don't you see it all the time? I don't know, but I can remember kind of seeing this line. It's almost as if somebody had taken a chalk line
Jamming.
out there. This one for me was probably one of the defining moments in my career, certainly my early part of my career, was if I could get this putt close, or for that matter, perhaps a miracle it would go
Put it in, Hale.
to seize the lead, get the lead going to the last 9 holes.
Get in there. Attaboy. Ran off
Making
on
the
him.
turn at 1 over with a difficult 9 in front of me and the lead, sure,
Yeah.
give me the lead. I don't care if I'm 83 over par. Give me the lead. I'll take that anytime. If I play my game, they have to come and catch me. Now,
That's
did
right,
I
Hale.
play the game I wanted to the back 9? We all make mistakes.
Hale fails to get his par, but keeps
Hale
his lead.
failed.
On the back 9 of a major championship, under those conditions, I'll take that.
I mean, fucking draining putts
The,
to shoot 5 over.
confidence and the psychological perspective, it was a extremely big putt with the lead and a relatively
Seems like a
short
nice
lead.
guy.
You're saying, okay, let's knock this down because you got some very difficult holes ahead of you because the scoreboards weren't plentiful. You didn't know exactly where you stood at any point in time. So I felt like knocking this down was a have to make sure to maintain that lead because the holes ahead were going to be very difficult, and that, I think, gave me a bit of a cushion, a confidence cushion, let's put it that way.
He needs this putt to give himself a
Hale
little breathing
Irwin.
room. I'm sure it's getting a little
This is
stuffy
crazy.
out there.
Breathing room like that one guy.
Okay,
Oh,
lead is
Hale.
down to 1.
That man's putting left-handed.
No one was immune from making bogeys. I just didn't want
Yeah.
to make one of those god-awful double bogeys or more where you did shoot yourself in the foot and had no chance. Well, when we get to 17, I did not know how I stood. All I knew is that I had
Strike.
driven it in just into the left rough.
Oh, he
It
doesn't
wasn't the
like
first
it.
time I'd driven in the rough that week. Hopefully it'd be the last. I think more often than not, when you see
He got some
some of the
cabbage on that
players
one.
that we've known through the years that have achieved greatness in some way, shape, or form, they find a way to do it. They find a way to get it done. Okay, fine.
That's true.
This is what I'm going to do. My third shot will be this. My putt will be that, and hopefully that will work. So I knew that it was going to be a 3-shot par 4. As you can see, take a pretty good swing at it.
Pretty
And
good
again,
cut.
The idea is to try and keep it
Get in there,
underfoot.
ball.
Keep it to where you're not putting downhill.
Very nice.
And that's exactly what I did. I had a putt that I could
Yeah.
look at and perhaps
You
make
did pretty
to
good.
maintain what I hoped was a 1-shot lead at the time.
Get in there. Oh, that wasn't an easy one.
Look at Irwin. He's breathing easily. Even a
That was
bogey will win the
huge.
Open.
That was huge, Hale.
Probably one of the best putts I've ever made in my entire career, given the circumstances. And the thought process was hardly any. Couldn't think at the time. It was just hang on, see what you could get in, and take your chances. And that putt going in was elation from my perspective.
All right, now, 448
Elation.
yards away, Hale Irwin, the leader, who made that great putt at 17. He is 7 over, leading by 2. The final hole.
What a golfer.
When I walked to this tee, Marshall informed me I had a 2-shot lead, but I told myself, don't believe it. Let's just say you've got
He's
no
lying.
lead or 1, so it's imperative.
Come on,
absolutely
right
imperative
down
to
the
put
middle,
this drive
Hale.
in the fairway. So I was delighted after contact to
Delighted.
look up and see that ball
I
going
bet
down
you
the
were.
right center of the fairway, right where I wanted it to be. The 18th hole was just so hard that even from the fairway, it did not make the second shot any easier.
No,
To the right of the
yeah.
green was diabolical. You just could not miss this green to the right. It was very, very heavy rough. When I looked up and saw the fly of the ball coming in just slightly left to right with the wind blowing it right over the top of the flag.
What a seed.
There
Oh,
was,
my God.
Well, that says it all right there. It was,
That says it all.
One of the best shots I think I've ever hit in my entire career.
Absolutely like a champion ought to do it.
Hale Irwin right on the flag here at the home hole.
Now walking up, I could see the board, and I did have a 2-shot lead. So I knew, notwithstanding some terrible
What a
circumstances,
feeling.
I was gonna win my first U.S. Open. I was very proud of this moment, simply because the U.S. Open's importance in my life was really singular. The U.S. Open became the tournament that was most important to me.
7 over.
This is something that I've wanted since I was a little boy.
We'll see in a second.
7 over. Oh! He almost did it.
11, 14.
Attaboy, Hale. What a showing.
Ever so sweet.
I bet that week was a grind.
There it is. The United States champion.
Mentally.
When you have something like that happen, something that you've dreamt about, something that is so important to your career, there's a burden that's gone, but it's replaced by something very uplifting, a very proud moment. It was probably the single most difficult course that you could pick to play. The setup was as hard as it could possibly be.
You got to be the happiest man in town.
Crazy.
Deservedly so. 287
Happiest man in
place
town.
conditions are just terrific.
Wing-footed, kicked our butts all over the place, but I got the
Kicked
final
your
set
butt less.
and achieved greatness. Unashamedly
That's
very
crazy.
proud of that, and I always will be.
That's crazy.
I'm Hale.
That is crazy. Hale Irwin, 1974 U.S. Open champion, shoots 7 over, beats Tom Watson, Arnie P. What a crazy week. Wingfoot, but crazy. I bet that was a mental grind. I bet they were tired afterwards. All right, stay tuned. We got more of these coming. Channel.